rescued. She's 9 months old. I've had her since she was about 3 months old. She's 90% angel, 10% unpredictable. Her breed is 40% coefficiency of inbreeding. Her major breed is American Bully. Her subset breeds are American Pitbull Terrier, American Staffordshire Terrier, and then about 3% American Bulldog. When I take her on walks, she turns on me, and I was wondering if that's normal.
Describe to me what turns on you means.
Usually when she gets very overly excited, like at the dog park, or when we go on walks, she starts jumping and biting at me. She tears my clothes. She's grazed me a couple times. No puncture wounds. I'd say maybe it's a level 2 bite. It happens frequently enough, however, that my bruising doesn't heal before the next incident.
Wow. So it's like really, really aggressive towards you, like wants to hurt you. Is that what you're saying?
I don't feel it's aggressive because the body behavior isn't aggressiveness. It's more, I feel, it's hard to describe. I don't know if it's something in her brain isn't right because of the inbreeding.
We're not looking for the excuses of why. What I'm trying to find out is whether she's like tug of war, playing, grabbing the clothes and shaking it, being playful, or she's trying to hurt you. There's a difference. Puppies, let me explain to you.
She jumps and she pulls down. She doesn't really shake. She'll shake slowly, but not violently.
But if she try to play with your clothes, some puppies will do that and they don't want to hurt you. But then again, there might be a dog that's aggressive and really wants to hurt you. That is a big difference. So that's one thing you need to make a determination. However, let me help you out with the beginning of the conversation. When you called me, you said that you have an American Pitbull Terrier. And then you went on and telling me about the percentages and all the stuff. And I guess you did one of those tests, like from whatever company they have nowadays. I realized that most of those DNA tests, whatever, is absolutely garbage. And what they're doing is they are giving you a percentage of how pure your dog is and so on and so forth according to the database they have. So if the database that they have entered is 100,000 mutt pit bulls. What is a mutt pit bull? It's a dog that the owners think are pit bulls, but they're really mutts, mixed breed of a whole bunch of stuff. But they still call them pit bulls because that's how society is distorted. The only dog that's really pit bull, or the real pit bull, is a dog that is called American Pitbull Terrier. That back in the 1800s, people took the middle of the name, American Pit Bull Terrier. They took the word pit and bull, put it together, and the short nickname, they call them pit bulls. So all these other dogs that they call pit bulls today, they're far away from that dog. They just take the name. It's like everybody wearing a fake Rolex, $6 watch. They call them Rolex, okay? So what you have is not an American Pit Bull Terrier. You have a dog that in the streets, they call a pit bull. And the dog is not a real pit bull. And then when you do the DNA, you started talking about it like it has a bully. The bully is an absolute mutt. And people that have those bullies, when you tell them you have a mutt, they say, well, but the pit bull is a mutt because it's a mix of two different dogs back in the, a bull and a terrier. Is absolutely a different thing, and then explain to you why. There is a process when dogs that are of particular blood or particular whatever different breeds get together, and within those breeds it passes a long time where some men develop certain trails within those dogs, and they develop what is called bloodlines, and those bloodlines have a particular characteristics that you're looking for, and those dogs become at one point purebreds. It takes a long time, and it takes a specific man that dedicated their lives to build on those trails. When American Pitbull Terrier, they were looking for a fighting dog. They created a super fighting dog. Within that process, they discovered that the best acting dogs with humans through a process of epigenetics were the best fighting dogs. And it happens to be that they will call them later nanny dogs. So the dogs have no human aggression, actually because of the process of fighting. And those dogs that they have today, they call them pet bulls, that they train for human aggression, for protection, or they bred by some guy in some neighborhood with no understanding. They call them pit bulls. Those dogs are not real pit bulls. To the point that the ignorance people come and say, well, it's a blanket term for several different type of dogs, bully breeds. Those so-called bully breeds is mud breeds with pretensions that they come from an American Pitbull Terrier, which they don't. And so what you have there is a dog that is bred by many different people, and none of them are quality dogs. The bully in it is not quality. None of those dogs are quality. And the part that you have in breeding might have been just a guy that has a daughter, read it back to the father, or maybe read it back to the mom, and that's what you get the breeding percentages. It's not like a professional breeder that is creating a particular, preserving a particular trails of a particular dog, that sometimes line breeding is part of the process, and you still get a great dog. And at the same time, you get a dog from a shelter. Usually these shelters are dogs that are being rejected by the owners, the mama that was rejected, bred maybe by a street dog. So what you have with you is a dog that might be a lot of trouble. And what concerns me is the fact that the dog is aggressive towards you. I just don't want to be, not give the puppy a chance, because a lot of puppies do have rough house playing. And if you educate them, they should stop and behave. But if the dog is really aggressive towards you, it comes from bad genetics. The problem is that same mama might have a puppy that's really nice with somebody for the next 3 or 4 years. And all of a sudden, in a case where she's maybe stressed a little bit, turn back around and still bite the owner. And when one of those dogs hurts somebody, the news says a pit bull hurt somebody, and those are not even pit bulls. So my recommendation is that you talk to the dog, give the dog some instructions, like set the ground rules. And if the puppy does not want to follow those ground rules, sadly, you end up going back to the same shelter. They take it back and they pass it on to somebody. Dog shelters are now officially a business. They make money out of it. There's some places where they run out of rescuing dogs in the streets, where they start to make their own breedings. And that's what you go to shelters like, why you have so many puppies? You're supposed to be a shelter. Why you find all these pregnant dogs somewhere? No, they're breeding their own dogs because they make money out of this. And so,
Yeah.
It's a really sad place and a sad world. And people always, this new generation of people, they believe that they are doing something great because the guys in Hollywood started to brainwash people, telling them that if you rescue is better than if you buy from a breeder. Of course,
Yeah.
if you buy from
I just want to stop and say I love the Pitbull breed. That's why I got my dog. But I don't want a feral Pitbull by any means that's been incorrectly bred or has some sort of rage syndrome that their parents could have that the shelter doesn't know about because they just want to save a life. And
a lot of times they breed them themselves. But a lot of times, let me tell you this. You said something that I really like. You don't want a feral dog. What you want, and this goes back to the source. The source that you have is a shelter, which is we don't know what you're going to find on that shelter, right? You don't know what it was dropped. You don't know anything. What you're looking for is the source, the brand of a great dog. And I just made a video, actually. I'm going to text it to you. I'm going to send you the link. What you want to start is with the great breeder. That's where you start. The breeder is the person that has the opportunity to create something special when he's able to, by having the right knowledge and having the right genetics. And that person breeds this great dog, male, with this female to produce puppies that are consistently great in looks, aspect, and more than anything else, temperament. And so it looks like your dog is having problems with temperaments. If you have other dogs before and you find that your dog really wants to hurt you, that's a very dangerous dog to have. Really, very dangerous dog to have. So, if I was you, I will keep the dog in the house and see how it acts in the house and have some corrections. And if it doesn't want to be corrected, take it back to the shelter. Take it back to the shelter.
Excellent advice. Yeah. Thank you so much.
No, absolutely. I don't want you to get hurt, really. I don't want you to get hurt. I'm going to send you a video that I just made, actually, for another gentleman, which has one of those blue mutt that they call pit bulls. and he wanted to start breeding dogs. And I told him, I said, you cannot breed dogs. You don't even know anything about pit bulls. Why would you want to breed dogs? Create problems. And he's like, oh, I thought she's so pretty, and I'm heartbroken now because I thought she was purebred, and just realized that because he did a test, also one of those test companies, and he came back like part boxer, part American Staffordshire Terrier, part Pitbull, part a whole bunch of the stuff, and he's heartbroken. And so pure great American Pitbull Terriers don't come from the hood, don't come from the backyard breeder. The poor man, cannot afford to have great genetics to create great dogs. They might have a bloodline and some dog that came from somewhere, but if the breeder, what you need to concentrate when you're buying a car is the brand of the car. If you like an electrical car and you look at Tesla and you like Tesla, you're buying the engineering of Tesla. So it's the same thing when you're looking at a gas car. You're looking at engineering of Mercedes-Benz versus Ford. So you know what you're comparing. When you're looking at dogs, your engineer is the breeder. Think of that way. So the better the breeder, the better chances you have to get a dog. If you ask me, Chico, what will separate you between you and everybody else? I'll say my merits, what I have accomplished, the quality of my dogs. I can give you over 200 names of dogs that are absolutely astonishing. Amazing dogs that make covers of books and magazines. And that is the difference. The experience, and if the breeder is an ethical breeder that wants to create a greater breed and a greater dog. And so when the owner gets that dog, he gets the blessing of that knowledge and the existence of that specific genetic makeup. What you're looking is the genetics. You're looking great genetics. I give you a perfect example. I got a dog here. His name is Global Grand Champion Atos. He's a war hero from Ukraine. I bred the father, I bred the mom, I bred the whole 9 yards. And this dog, his temperament with children, with people, is amazing. He's a service dog, can travel on planes. He's a very stable dog. Although he was inside of the war in Ukraine, and his sister got killed by a grenade and he was hurt, that didn't change who he is. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a dog like Atos from Busha, a great dog. Okay. You understand?
Yeah.
I'll send you my link, and you can study who I am. Obviously, okay. I'm not at the shelter price because we don't have garbage. We don't pick up dogs in the street.
I understand. I wanted to call someone that knew what they were talking about before getting advice from anybody. So you're the first person I called for advice, if that means anything.
No, absolutely. And I want you to be safe over everything, and analyze the puppy. Maybe the puppy is just puppy playing. And maybe it turned out to be that she is just needs some guidance. But this what happens. A lot of people buy dogs, like let's say game dogs, right? They came from fighting dogs or whatever. But the dogs are so wired, so stupid, that when they get them home, the dog is the toilet, the dog is the couch, everything, the walls. Is not a dog that you can educate because it's overly aggressive, overly hyper. You want a dog that can be very calm when it's needed to be calm, and very poised, but be very active if you need to go hiking, if you need to do things. Go see Chris Cyborg. She's an MMA fighter. Chris Cyborg. She has a Cyborg Zoo Instagram page. Take a look at her dog Canelo and her dog Holly. Take a look at the temperament of those dogs. They play with cats in the house. They behave so well. And when she goes running, they're unstoppable. When she goes out hiking in the mountains, 5,000 feet above sea level, they're unstoppable. That is a dog that's made out of velvet and made out of steel. Plus, it has the right pedigree and it comes from the right breeder. Absolutely.
Well, that's a lot of really good information you just gave me. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, the source or the most proper information is the number one, the number two, the number three, 123, pitbulls.com. And I hope that you do find a solution. I will text you some videos so you can learn. And hopefully after you learn everything, you can make a decision for yourself that can be of benefit, okay?
Thank you been so much helpful.
Absolutely.
So much more helpful than anyone ever.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Believe me, my clients that own my dogs say the same thing. Imagine once they got my dogs, we are connected for a lifetime. So, what can I say? Wish you nothing but the best, okay? Thank you for the call.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.